Hey guys, Zeal here with an album review for Samurai by Lupe Fiasco. So Lupe Fiasco is no stranger to a lot of people. He was a hip hop star, pop star crossover for a bit. But after his release of his album Lasers, he fell more into like the underground due to sort of label disputes that soured his opinion on sort of the music industry. And ever since then, he's been a bit of a underground king, bona fide legend in some circles, and a washed up pop star in others, depending on who you're asking. So, Lupe Fiasco pretty much came up in a big way in the underground with Drogas Wave, which followed pretty much the plight of slaves brought in on ships during like sort of the Great American Slave Trade. Bit of a concept album, which put Lupe kind of back on the map for a lot of people. And he returns to us now with Samurai, pretty much 2 years after the release of Drill Music in Zion. It comes in at about 30 minutes, which to me is sort of like the perfect length for a hip hop album. It's a pretty understated album, very smooth, plucky jazz instrumentals, sort of acting as a bit of a quiet backdrop to the main star of the show, which is Lupe Fiasco himself. And Lupe Fiasco has a lot to say about a lot of things. Samurai basically is a concept album as well. It loosely follows sort of the quote by the late Amy Winehouse when she said that she felt like kind of like a battle rapper, a samurai kind of honing her blade, and I think Lupe Fiasco sort of took that and ran with it. Lupe follows sort of like this plot thread and a bit of a reimagining of her life, and very smartly uses her life as a reference point when discussing the woes of hip hop, the music industry as a whole, and sort of deep dives into the ills and the woes and the benefits of existing in that industry. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit lukewarm on the album as a whole. I found the instrumentals to be a bit too stale for my taste. I understand the reasoning. Lupe Fiasco didn't want sort of the instrumentals and these like bombastic, jazz, sort of like plucky jazz, like sort of taking away from what he has to say in the album. I understand the reasoning. I do still find it to be a bit boring despite that. I think there are ways to have understated instrumentals without falling into the sort of the tired, we've heard it before sort of jazz instrumental. I think a lot of his contemporaries that have jazzy leanings do it a little bit better. I will say though, Lupe's rapping here is stellar. As usual, it is the star of the show. However, I did also find him stumbling at times over sort of these like lofty concepts. And while a lot of the metaphors and similes can be appealing on sort of a deeper level, in terms of listenability and replayability, I did find to be a lot of passages where the lyrics began to sort of overstay their welcome a bit. There are some songs here that are absolutely ethereal, with Palaces being the highlight of the album for me. Lupe has a surprisingly beautiful singing voice, and he absolutely floats on a lot of these album's hooks. Outside is another standout for me, where I feel the sort of understated instrumental really works for the song, and the light harp plucking on the chorus is the definition of less is more for me. And all in all, while it's not reaching any lofty heights and not reinventing the wheel in any way, and I do find the instrumentals and songwriting to be a bit lackluster, I do find there to be a decent amount of compelling and thought-provoking lyrics about the industries that Lupe has very much influenced and been a part of. Sort of a perspective from the outside looking in that we can pick through probably for, X amount of years to come. So I just wanted to keep it short, sort of give my thoughts on this. I'm feeling a 6.5 to 7 on this one. Lupe Fiasco, Samurai.